Okay. I want to share something with y'all really, really quick. So, I've been kind of going back and forth with God about some of the plans that I want to make, some of the things that I desire. And I'm like, okay, God, if I don't have this by a certain time, I'm going to try to do this. I'm just kind of really giving God my plans, not really asking him what his plans are. And this scripture came to mind like, many are the desires of a man's heart, but it's the Lord's plan that prevails, right? So anyway, I'm kind of like just telling God, like, hey, God, I want this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And so the Lord ended up showing me this vision. In this vision, there was a man. He was standing in this yard, and in the yard that he was standing in, some of the grass was missing. The house that he was staying in, the house that he was standing in front of, like some of the paint was chips and some of the shingles was missing. The house just kind of looked worn, like basically kind of poorly maintained. And so across the street was the exact same house, except for this house looked like a newer build. It was freshly painted, no shingles were missing, all of the grass was there and it was green, and the trees were fuller. And so this man begins to try to walk to cross the street to get to the new thing, right? And every step that he took, the foundation in the middle of the road began to crack, and he could not cross the street. And this is what I heard. The foundation is actually stronger where you are. Okay. And I know that sometimes you're not in the most favorable season of your life. So you can look around and you don't like what you see. You don't like what you feel. And you can be looking at a thing and it looks good, but just because something looks good doesn't mean that it is good for you, right? So you heard the term that fake grass is always greener, right? Or have you ever been walking past a store and all of the clothes that's in the window looks really, really good, and then you go into the store and the clothes are nothing like what's presented? So it's just propaganda. It's just aesthetics, right? To bait you in. And so sometimes we get discouraged by when we look around and we not where we want to be, right? Or this season is not yielding us the results that we need, so we grow impatient. But I want to encourage you, because the word says that in Jeremiah 29:11, that when God formed us, that he had a plan for us, right? Plans to prosper us and give us peace and to give us an expected end. So what you need to know is God's promises for your life are yea and amen. But I also want to share this with you. In Numbers 9, when they talk about the column of smoke that led Israel through the desert. So in Numbers 9, it says, whenever the smoke moved from the tent, the Israelites would break camp. And wherever it stopped, the Israelites would set up camp. At the Lord's command, the Israelites would break camp, and at his command, they would set up camp. And as long as the column of smoke stayed over the tent, they would stay in the same place, right? And so then if you drop down to verse 22, it says, whether it was for 2 days, a month, or a year, as long as the column of smoke stayed over the tent, the Israelites would stay in the same place, and they would not break the camp, right? So the people of Israel were being led through the desert, right? And so basically it's saying they were led through by a column of smoke, right? And so wherever the smoke stayed, they had to stay. And the word tells us whether it was for 2 days, a month, or a year, they had to stay, right? So basically in this season of your life, until God gives you permission to move on to the next, you basically have to stay there, right? You cannot grow impatient and you cannot grow tired of waiting on God, because we know that God's plan is to prosper you and to give you peace, right? And so I just was so encouraged that when I read that, I don't know what you guys got from it, but for me, it just kind of spoke to me right on time that, you know, sometimes you have to wait. And the Bible tells us in James 1:4, let patience have her perfect work, so that you may be perfect and what does it say? I think perfect and in whole, not, hold on y'all, not lacking nothing. Y'all can look that up for yourself, but I believe that's what the word says. But anyway, I just wanted to encourage y'all, like, don't get tired in this season, right? Keep swinging. Keep swinging, keep fighting, keep reading, keep praying, keep fasting. Just keep on keeping on, right? We ain't giving up. We got the victory, right?